I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is To Mega Therion by the band Therion.
For Daniel.
The name of the song, Therion, remember we were playing, it wasn't Gears of War, it was the X-Men one. The guy kept saying, Therion!
Oh, I don't know. My favorite one was Gears of War.
Therion. Therion is, Therion means beast. So, Mega Therion would probably be the Mega Beast.
Giant beast.
Giant beast. The big beast. I don't know. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori. There are multiple ways to get your song reviewed, dear listener. My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon, where you will meet amazing clan leaders and alliance leaders. $1 at the gate gets you in, and then you guys pull your points together, and that determines what songs we review. If you're a filthy capitalist like Sori and you want to hop, skip, and jump in front of everybody, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line, and then you determine yourself what song you would like us to review, as well as the actual which video version we review as well. So that's what the big homie did. What's his name?
Oh, this is for Daniel.
Is this the same Daniel? This is for Daniel. 125.
It was cute too because he was like, "Don't worry if you don't get to the song. I know you're still making that army of yours." So, because I told him, I said, "I don't know if we're gonna get to it before I go for delivery. So hopefully we do get to it, and we are here." You
do it 3 times. You go back down to the $75 rate, and you get locked in there, which I'm sure Daniel is, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. To Mega Therion by the band Therion.
This is a live one too.
Oh,
so
good.
You should be very happy with that.
Yeah, lyrics. We got the last room. We're gonna go.
Okay, we're good.
To Mega.
I miss live shows, bro. If you guys could request live shows, that would be awesome.
Artistic.
So this is the guitar parts I thoroughly enjoyed. Start to finish, I thoroughly enjoyed the guitar parts. Of this
I like the
Holy
vocal
moly.
style too, and I liked those girls in the background. Question: do you think that I could do that? If you were to take a guess.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I kind of think I might be able to do that too. So
Make
I'm
it
gonna try
hot.
it. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to, like, yeah. I'm not gonna put it big in. We've got a couple weeks left till you give birth to the baby. Then we'll see. I wonder if this was like a one night thing. This must have been like a one night special. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't think they'd be able to afford to bring them like on a giant tour. You know what I mean?
Oh.
That's a lot of mouths to feed, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, it just depends on how, like, you know, if these people are like aspiring artists. Because I think that, like, you know, your
opera
friend.
people?
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. You know, like your friend that you said, I've never heard her sing, but you said that she sings like wicked good. Like maybe she's up on this
Natalie?
level. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if she was like, I mean, what is she really doing with her life? You know what I'm saying? And she got to like travel with the band, and they basically just said like.
But I feel like a band like this at this level would ask for professionals. They wouldn't ask for somebody off the street. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not just somebody off the street. That's somebody like. You said she's professional
not-
level, but she doesn't have any credentials.
Right.
So
what I'm saying is,
it's like this is a way for you to get your foot in the door.
I think these guys would go after credentialed people. I mean, you might be right. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. But I really that's one of the things I learned from the channel. Like when you have these back office conversations with these bands, and like you get to know some of them, like the like bands like Behemoth, who are big relatively speaking, but still put out the capital for, you know, a good live show. Like they could be a lot more profitable to themselves if they just did a strip down. Like
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I remember one time, like, there was this band that was going on tour, very, very big, huge band, legendary level band. And they're like, yeah, we're just gonna do strip down like we did back in the day, and da-da-da-da. I was like, oh, that's right, they're just gonna, yeah, you know what I mean? And now, like, after talking to bands and stuff, they're like, yeah, of course you're gonna do that because, you know, you get more money.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Yeah, but I feel like that, like, Behemoth goes surprisingly, like, when you hear the style of the music and you don't know anything about it, you would not assume that they were going to go next level with all their stuff that, like, they do.
Really?
Like, you know, like, the type of vocal style, it doesn't sound like you would, if you didn't see them and you only heard them, you might not know that they go next level like they do. You know what, every time, but there's one thing about Behemoth that embarrasses me. So, when I first got introduced to them, I really didn't know much about them. And then I was on Instagram, and they had posted a picture of, like, it basically was like Jesus on the cross, and it was like women crying at his feet and all this, but it was the big homie was playing the part of Jesus, and so I didn't recognize. Why can't I think of his name?
Nergal?
Yes, that's so bad. Baby brain, guys, forgive me. Anyway, so Nergal was on the cross. Do you remember this?
Yeah, that was,
I showed it to you, and I was like, babe, look at this incredible art. And then he was like, and I had posted on the Instagram, I was basically like, where did you find this art? Like, I thought this was something that was like in some museum somewhere or something. Vin was like, that's Nergal, babe. Like, that's the band. The band is, I was like, what? I was so embarrassed, but I had already posted it. Then I saw a picture of him like stomping on some statue's crotch, and I was like, well, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. But I got that screwed up.
Well, you were there, like, right before they dropped the curtain last year.
Yeah, that was.
And
crazy.
they were doing some religious thing before.
Yeah, behind the curtain,
right
like
before
it wasn't
the curtain dropped.
like it wasn't for the audience.
Yeah.
It was just I just happened to be.
That was
back
him
there
and
peeking in
whatever, you know, spirits he was dealing
Yeah.
with. So,
Yeah.
So, like,
I like the smell that they put out. There's something that they put into their fog.
yeah, it's some sort of incense thing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Yeah, it's probably some.
Sometimes my OCD kicks in a little bit. Well, I don't know if I have OCD, but I think I might. And when I'm at those concerts, I feel like, you know, stuff might be really contaminated. And so whenever it's one of his shows, I always tell myself that the incense are actually sanitizing incense. That's so weird. But there's a
Incense was originally put in the religious context because you were doing all the sacrifices and you were worshiping in a slaughterhouse.
Right.
So
they had to cover that.
You had to OD on the incense so that you could make it tolerable. But when a band puts out, like Behemoth puts out, but again, I think it's like a religious thing for them. It's more than it's deeper than music. I don't think that they're Wacken level, but I think it's something meaningful to him. But this band, like, at least for this show, they did not spare expenses. I just think that's really crazy that we're a band. And I don't want to say like that you could tell who's really serious about the art form by how much they're willing to. I just don't think that that's fair. These guys had thousands of people in the audience, so they're pretty established. But suffice it to say, I really appreciate the fact that in their live presentation, they wanted to show people something that's like you're not going to see every day.
Yeah.
I just think it's important
I guess I agree with you. It's not about how seriously they take the art form, but I feel like if you're very artistic, like you want those other things. Like an artistic person is going to. Like I think that some people, their displays and the different things that go out there with them is about like creating a certain level of hype. And I think some people, it's about creating a certain artistic feel and look.
Yeah. And again, this is where, being a hip hop head, growing up versus what you can do with metal. It's just, metal is such a more, the genre just has so many different ways that it can go. And
I agree.
Like, I don't think I've ever heard like an operatic rap album, which, I mean, maybe it's possible. Nobody's even tried it, I don't think.
Whenever I see like rap or like hip hop stuff, I'm like, oh, it's more asses. Oh, it's more money. It's like that's like the two major props.
Well, yeah, I think Kanye's different. You know what I mean? And obviously the Chicago guys, it's different. But especially now with rap, like the skill level has like really taken a step backwards. Like, I really am a better rapper than any of these, aside from J. Cole and those guys, like the modern rappers.
There's like a lot of them that I think you're better than.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like
when you look at this stuff, you're like, holy shit, these guys are. This is next level. Like, that's what I'm saying about metal. I just think the metal as a genre is so much more versatile as to what you can do and where you can go and what you can even pull off. Because there's the other thing. It's like at a rap, like let's say I was going to an FBG Duck. Rest in peace to the big homie, but let's say I was going to that show. Like, even if he wanted to try to have an opera and all that, it just wouldn't work. It's like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah.
But I can appreciate the different styles. You know what I mean? Like, even though
I don't
have the versatility.
I just think that metal is just like, it's just a crazy world, man. There's just so many different ways you can go. Now, this seemed to be an ode to the beast, basically, or to the devil, or whatever. Watch the great beast to be to Mega Therion, the draconian melody. The dragon opened the eye and revealed both truth and lie, spiritual supremacy. So this is talking about like, the back and forth that ride the beast of ecstasy, spiritual supremacy, ride the beast of ecstasy, which is of course a nod to Revelation, right? The woman's riding the beast. Who were you taught that the woman was who was riding the beast in Revelation?
Babylon.
Well, yeah, it explicitly says it's Babylon, but like, who did you interpret Babylon to be? Like, literal Babylon?
No, it really could be anybody. So sometimes it was like, it's America. It just America. Depended on, Well, really, that was the big major one that everybody kind of said. It's American.
Well,
it's American.
Yeah, traditional Reformed theology was the Catholic Church.
Oh yeah, I heard those.
So shout out to the big homie Martin Luther. He had the thing going on yesterday. That was 95 Thesis Day yesterday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I heard it was the Catholic Church too, but that wasn't something that like people were really like pushing.
There's this classic book called "The Woman Rides the Beast." It's like a 450-page whatever.
I just didn't think that the Catholic Church was influential enough to be like in my opinion, the Catholic Church's influence was just kind of like going down, where like the idea of like when you look at like what American Christianity is, or like America and like the way that we go about things, it was like that makes more sense. Like the popularity of certain sins in our culture.
Well, yeah, the Pope said something about like how it was like unspeakably cruel to separate children from their parents, whatever. And Trump was like, yeah, man, whatever, you can have it.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like the Catholic Church, I think there was like a time in history where they had so much influence, like what he said.
No question.
Yeah, you don't question it, and yeah.
No question.
But now it's like, please, I mean.
Yeah, who do you think the woman is on the beast now?
I don't know. I actually haven't read that passage in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's 1st century Jerusalem.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Then they turn on her, burn her with fire, yada, yada, yada. She gets destroyed in 1 hour, yada, yada, yada. It's just Jerusalem. She's clothed in scarlet.
You're probably right.
Because of the whole setup, right? It's the Lamb versus the beast, the people of the earth versus the people up in heaven, and then the Father versus the dragon, and then
oh my God.
the false prophet versus the Holy Spirit.
And I never heard that theory though.
You've got the bride versus the whore. Right? So there's all these things happening in Revelation.
I bet you're right.
You see how shocked she is? I've literally had this discussion probably 18 times with Shorty. Probably 18 times.
The kid
and
said
it's
to
like
me,
she's never heard it before.
No, people are so rude to me because I don't know. It's my memory. I don't really know. But the kid
She
said,
just doesn't listen to me.
That's what he says. But doesn't it look like I was listening? I'm shocked. I'm excited about the
listen.
information. I don't know why it doesn't stick. The kids were like, Dorian brought something up to me, and then I was like, really? And I asked him a question about it. He gave me the answer, and I was like, oh wow, like I made that reaction. He goes, Mom, we already had this conversation, and you legit asked the same question the last time and gave me the same answer.
100%.
I was like, really? And then Johan's like, do you even remember your name? I was like, wow, I remember how rude you are to me every single day.
That was a good one. It's a good question.
Anyway, thank you.
I mean, you've got a channel named after it, so
Yes.
I mean,
of course I remember my name. I'm like,
just pull out your phone. You pull out your phone, you'll be able to.
my thing is, I feel like part of it is baby brain, and I think part of it is like there's a lot of brain space taken up by children. Because I don't think my memory was like this before.
I've got a board with 3 different lines of businesses that I'm running. This
it's true. You're a badass, and I'm not discrediting that at all.
Excuses for days. Yeah, the woman riding the beast. It's really ultimately though what happens when the supposed people of God get in bed with the state, because the beast was Rome, right? And you saw how the Sanhedrin and all that stuff worked with the government in order to get Jesus crucified or XYZ.
That's true. I know all that. I just remember all of that right now.
Yeah, so that, but I'm pointing it out because of the obvious ramifications that we have currently with the supposed Christian church in America riding on the beast of the Republican Party.
I was going to say politics.
Exchanging the viability of your witness for political power, which is what we've done, and obviously, that could go down a whole rabbit hole. I'm not going there, but very, very interesting stuff. Then it talks about Laubaoff's creative spark manifests the utmost dark. I don't know who that guy is, but he must be some like chief demon. Meaning the letter of Teth, hide the force of Baphomet. I don't know what that means either, but I know who Baphomet is. Baphomet is like that goat guy, and the goat guy is doing all this.
That's a statue that they got put up.
That's the one with the kids in the Hail Satan documentary. Yeah.
I really liked that documentary.
Yeah, we did a really, really good job with the Hail Satan documentary, and then YouTube,
we got a channel strike.
We got a copyright strike, which we deserve because we played the entire thing from front to back.
We deserve. How dare you take that?
It was
we
like
deserve it. We were unjustly.
Yeah, we did a Patreon. We did a Patreon watch along with Hail Satan, which we could still do.
We just can't publish it.
We can't publish it. We can't put it on YouTube, I think.
Yep. It was good though. It was a very good documentary. We're Christians. We come up with a surprising thought process behind it. How we feel.
Well, when you really sat and listened to what they were saying, it was impossible to disagree with them. If you're gonna put the Ten Commandments out in
Some
public,
people don't think it's impossible. I mean, that's why the people
No,
in
I'm
the
talking about it
video
from-
were reacting that way.
yeah, but none of them were quoting the Constitution or anything.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree
Like,
with you.
if
Like,
you're
if you're
gonna
gonna put up
have-
the Ten Commandments, why can't Baphomet be there too?
Yeah, and if you're a Christian, you should be happy.
Yeah.
You know how many conversations you get? I mean, you know, a lot of, like, that's one of the big things that Christians have a hard time, like, how do I initiate a spiritual discussion? Subhanallah, you got a statue of
Yep.
Baphomet with 2 kids there. Like,
Right.
it is impossible not to have a spiritual discussion. Somebody's hanging around that, go for it. Nah, nobody can think outside the box.
They were very, very upset.
Yeah, they were giving these people death threats and all that shit. It's like, okay, wait a second, Christians are giving the Satanists the death threats?
Really?
Like whose team? Whose team? And the Satanists were not responding with death threats either. They were just taking them. So it's like the Satanists were Christ-like and the Christians were satanic. It was just a very strange situation.
What is going on here?
But then they had that, you know, sorry to spoil, but they had that crazy girl who basically said she's going to kill the president.
Yeah.
And then Satanists are like, okay, you're out. They excommunicated her.
Yep. You've gone too far.
You did too far. The world will burn by Sorath's flame.
By what?
Sorath. I don't know who Sorath is, but
I literally heard
apparently,
sore ass when you said that.
Apparently,
I'm like, what is that word
he's-
doing?
He's not really feeling happy, so he's going to set the world on fire, which is really interesting because a lot of Christians also believe that God's going to set the world on fire and destroy the earth. Which I don't believe that.
They want it.
Jesus talks about the renewal of the earth. He doesn't talk about the destruction of the earth. So, like, you know, here we go again. Like, it's just
Yeah, I was always
very
confused.
weird.
I was like, okay, so he's gonna burn it, then he's gonna renew it?
They're going to burn this entire thing to ash. We're post-millennialists, actually, so we actually believe that everything is going to get progressively better, and it already has, obviously. Like, if we would have taken this COVID thing back 50 years, you'd have like 15 million deaths or whatever.
I mean,
So, I mean, it's,
I agree.
it's horrible, but it's not as bad as it could be because of, you know, the advance of modern medicine, things of that nature. But hey, who needs that, right? Because according to our president, he eliminated COVID. He's got that in his little thingamajig.
No.
The thing is back up on an uptick, but he eliminated it. Okay, we continue.
Okay, alright.
The end of Middle America's Vin and Sori. Go check it out. The end of Revelation, a soulful violation. The end of Revelation. That part there was really, really interesting to me.
Why?
Because the end of Revelation is absolutely positive. Yes, you got the New Jerusalem descending down from heaven as a bride dressed for her groom. As they're clothed in linen, and the linen is the righteous acts of the saints, I think it says. And then it's like there's 12 trees in each season, and the leaves are for the healing of the nations. It's like the end of Revelation is awesome. If you're talking about the very, very last chapter, it's like from 20 on down, like it's pretty positive. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think it was Gary DeMar or Kenneth Gentry that basically said the only thing that's future in Revelation is like the last chapter and a half, and that's talking about like the spread of the gospel and things like that. You obviously won't need healing for the nations in the eschaton, like in the final. So the last chapter mentions the healing of the nations. So obviously that's talking about world history. It's not talking about like the end of the world. But so anyway, one of these days, I need to get back on the so many things to talk about. And then they also talked about the wound of Baal, which was interesting. Because one of the books I'm reading right now is Piercing the Darkness, and Baal is not a personal name, it's an actual title. So it means like President so-and-so or whatever. So this guy's like, the town is like Greenwood, so he's Baal Greenwood, he's like the ruler of Greenwood, or he's a demon or whatever. And it's such a fascinating book to me. It's like, because like I said, like when the angels beat up a demon, like he disintegrates into sulfur and he basically gets sent down to the pit. But I'm like, okay, what happens if an angel gets killed? Like, does he disintegrate in a pile of light and go back up to heaven? And God says, "What are you doing here? Go back to fight." I have no idea. Plus, biblically speaking, Jesus was the only one. Jesus was the only one that had the authority to send them back to the pit. Like, there's no other. You know what I'm saying? But so it's very, very interesting stuff. So Baal it means Lord. So like, was it Jeremiah 20:31, where he says, not like the covenant I did before them, even though I was a lord to them, and they left me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's Baal. So like, God's using ironic terminology. It's not like the first covenant, even though I was a Baal to them. Which means I was your lord, but then you abandoned me and went to Baal. So it's like a play on words in the Hebrew. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Bible's a very interesting book, y'all. I'm telling you. You don't know what you're missing. So yeah, I thought that was interesting too. So there's a lot of like, I think there's like a lot of like, maybe like Crowleyisms / Hebraisms and New Testamentisms, like all congealed into one, which is really, really interesting. Which is again one of those situations where these people know more about the Bible than we do. What do you get the song?
I am actually going with a 9.9.
I gave it a 9.8. They did a really, really good job. My only critique is it was too short.
Oh, mine was I wanted it a little heavier in some spots.
There you are, Lewiston. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.